Hi, this is Regi Rodgers, and I'm back again. I'm your #1 relationship coach, where I give you dating from an expanded conscious perspective. So we've started this series, and we've been talking about the seasonality to dating, correlating the 4 seasons to dating, the mindset, the mentality, what someone is feeling, and why people are feeling the way they're feeling when the seasons change. So we left off with winter. We want to go back today and pick up from winter, because there's a life cycle of relationships. And the life cycle of relationships kind of looks like this. Most people begin to seek out committed relationships during the autumn months. That's what we talked about in the last video. So a larger percent of breakups occur in the end of winter. We talked about that in the last video, because we attribute that to people being depressed, people feeling fatigue, and people just feel depressed and fatigued during these cold months. So they really can't wait to get out of these cold months. But summer, which is what we're going to talk about now in this video, is spring and summer. So summer is really when the majority of casual sex happens. Why? Many are hanging out drinking, people are enjoying the weather, girls are wearing less, guys are wearing less. What does this mean for spring dating expectations? I want you to ask yourself this question. You have to ask, is it a spring fling or is it a real thing? Is it a spring fling or is it a real thing? Asking yourself that question helps you to get ahead of what summer may bring. Is it a spring fling or is it a real thing? The correlation between hot weather and hookups. Why is there such a correlation between hot weather and hookups? And what makes something a spring fling? What makes something a real thing? I looked at differences between a sporty guy and a gentleman. A sporty guy, nothing's wrong with a sporty guy, but that just may be a spring fling, because he may invite you out and tells you, meet him at the beach. That way he gets to see you in a bikini. Meet him at the gym. That way he gets to see you in something tight, your workout gear. And so, that's his opportunity to see you in something where he can kind of see your body and you can expose yourself for him or to him. That's a sporty guy. But there's nothing wrong with a sporty guy. But then the gentleman would probably say, let's meet somewhere quiet where we can really talk and get to know each other. So you got to ask yourself during the spring, is it a spring fling or is it a real thing? I'm just giving you some ways to maybe look at what could be a real thing, what could be a spring fling. The other one you might want to look at is I was in the neighborhood guy. That might be a spring fling. I was in the neighborhood. That guy says, I just happened to be in the neighborhood and I thought I'd give you a call, but watch when he calls you. It's late at night. It's right when you're getting ready for bed, and he just happens to be in the neighborhood, and he just happens to call you to let you know, oh, I was in the neighborhood. I thought maybe I'd stop by. Is that a spring fling? I'm not sure if that's a real thing, because the real thing to me would be what I call the kiss goodnight bye. He's the guy that he takes you out. He doesn't want to come in. He just wants to give you a kiss goodnight and say, hey, enjoyed this. Maybe let's table this and do this again. We can do this tomorrow. I'd love to see you again. He gives you a kiss goodnight and he's on his way. So you got to ask yourself in the spring, is it a spring fling or is it a real thing? And there are different ways to look at a spring fling and a real thing. As I shared with you in the last video, people have a tendency to skirt commitment between June and August because the weather is warm and there's so much more on the calendar that relates to different possibilities for the different events that you go to. So when we talk about summer, people are generally happier in the summer. And they're happier because there's no shortage of date ideas. There's so much that you can do in the summer months. But I want you to look out for a change in communication that coincides with the summer seasons. Let me say that again. Look out for a change in communication that coincides with the summer seasons. If you used to get a text every morning and now you don't, look out for that. Change in communication during the summer season. If you used to get funny replies and now you get one-word answers, pay attention. Change in communication during the summer seasons. So summer is when the majority of casual sex happens and many are hanging out, having fun, drinking. So as you can see, there is a correlation between all 4 months. And now you can kind of get an idea as relates to why your dating has fluctuated with different people. It's fluctuated during the months because the months have something to do, or the seasons have something to do with the mentality and the mindset. This is C. Regi Rodgers. I'm your #1 relationship coach. I give you dating from an expanded conscious perspective. I hope you've enjoyed this series on the seasonalities to dating and the 4 seasons of dating. If you have not gotten your videos, if you have not gotten the series to dating and creating, listen, go to my website. You'll see it right there and get dating and creating. You guys have a great day.